How to tame a zebra and other domestication disasters. Sheep weren't always this fluffy. We fluffified them by breeding the fluffiest in each generation, and thus domestication was born mankind's long, often ridiculous quest to turn wild animals into personal assistants, mobile food storage, and the original lawnmowers. As we saw in part 1, early humans realized animals could be powerful tools, useful for food, clothing, transport, and occasionally as an emergency rodeo show. But despite animals roaming literally everywhere, only a select few made it into the elite club of domesticated creatures. Why? Because Mother Nature has a sense of humor. Let's break it down with the Domestication Checklist of Doom. Step 1, it must be willing to eat almost anything. A cow is basically a machine that turns grass into steaks, while a tiger is a machine that turns steaks into, well, tiger. Feeding a tiger takes 10 pounds of steak to make 1 pound of tiger. So unless you're looking to bankrupt yourself or audition for Dinner, the reality show, carnivores are off the list. Herbivores are a better bet, but only the ones that don't insist on an all-organic, free-range, gluten-free diet. Picky eaters need not apply. Any omnivore we take in better be happy eating whatever leftovers we chuck at them. Step 2, it can't be a murder machine. Sure, carnivores are obvious red flags. Anything that sees humans as walking Lunchables is a terrible choice for domestication. But even some herbivores have major anger issues. Buffalo are just land tanks, hippos hold Africa's murder record, and giraffes look goofy until you realize they have a striking range that makes lions hesitate. Then there are the dream candidates, like war bears, which sound awesome on paper. Unfortunately, they come with a side order of constantly trying to kill their owners. Hard pass. Step 3, no drama in the dating department. Some animals are just not relationship material. Looking at you, pandas. The human race has spent entire lifetimes trying to convince pandas to have a romantic evening, but they refuse. We need creatures that are enthusiastic about keeping their numbers up, not ones that require mood lighting and Barry White to get in the mood. Step 4, it must grow up fast. Domestication takes work, and if an animal takes its sweet time growing up, it's not worth the effort. Take elephants, for example. 2 years to make a calf, 5 years between calves, and nearly 2 decades until full maturity. That's slower than waiting for your bread to toast on low heat. This is why elephants, while trainable, were never truly domesticated. Keeping them around was a luxury. If you ever need a quick test for domestication, remember, if it's on a farm, it's domesticated. If it's in a circus, it's just a very large, very expensive hobby. Step 5. It must have a family mentality. Let's talk about zebras versus horses. Horses are basically the Wi-Fi of the ancient world. Lightning fast, always available, and civilization changing. Meanwhile, Africa had zebras. Why didn't people gallop out of Africa on the backs of these stripy horses? Because zebras are jerks. They live to kick and bite, which is bad news in a pre-antibiotic world. They also have a panic button that never turns off, and their personal motto is, trust no one. Worse, they lack a clear social structure, meaning you can't just tame the leader and expect the rest to follow. Horses, on the other hand, have clear leadership within their herds. Domestication was simply a matter of humans taking the top job. Once a horse realized you were in charge, it just shrugged and went with it. Chickens do the same thing. Peck, peck, peck until someone rules the roost. Spoiler, that someone is us. Dogs? Oh, dogs live for the pack. They bond with us, protect us, and enthusiastically obey commands, unless there's a squirrel involved. Cats? They tolerate us, mostly because they've realized we're just bigger, dumber food dispensers. Conclusion. Why we're not riding buffaloes or zebra today? To domesticate an animal, it has to check all the boxes. It has to eat something plentiful and not be picky. It can't be actively trying to murder us. It has to breed like it means it. It has to grow up fast enough to be useful. It needs to have family values, or at least be willing to fake it. Early humans got lucky and domesticated a grand total of about a baker's dozen of big animals. Everything else either refused, tried to eat us, or ran for the hills. And that's why we don't have war zebras or battle pandas today. A real shame, honestly. Attention, internet people. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You now qualify for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Smashing that like button instantly increases your coolness by 327%. Scientifically unproven, but spiritually accurate. Subscribing guarantees good vibes and fewer traffic jams in your life. Hitting the notification bell may or may not summon a tiny dancing robot to your home. So go ahead, click those magical buttons before they get lonely. Otherwise, a mildly disappointed virtual pigeon will be sent to stare at you judgmentally. Thanks for watching. You're awesome.